A man had been stranded in the desert for 3 days and nights. Just as he was about to fall into despair, he suddenly discovered a house at the bottom of a deep ravine. He quickly climbed down the stairs, intending to ask for some water to drink. Inside the house, a woman was preparing dinner. The man told her that he had gotten lost in the desert and wanted to borrow her phone to call for help. The woman said she didn't have a phone, but she had just finished making dinner, and if he was hungry, he could sit down and eat with her. However, just as the man was about to take a bite of the food, he stopped and said he wasn't hungry yet. In the end, he only drank some water to quench his hunger. Since it was already late, he decided to sleep there for the night and leave at dawn. However, when he arrived at the edge of the cliff the next day, the man was surprised to find that the stairs from yesterday were gone, with only the upper part fixed to the stone wall remaining. The man clearly remembered that the woman had said she lived alone. He returned to the house and found the woman still fast asleep. Not wanting to disturb her, he took out his camera and started taking photos. There were many strange patterns on the stone wall. At this point, he noticed that the woman had woken up. The man asked about the whereabouts of the ladder. The woman said that sometimes others would use it and that it might be returned tomorrow or the day after. Upon learning that this was the only way out, the anxious man tried to climb the rock wall. Halfway up, there was no place to set foot. His shouts received no response. After a lot of fruitless effort, he had no choice but to stay and wait for the ladder to be returned before leaving, completely unaware of the woman's triumphant expression. 7 days passed in the blink of an eye. The man, who had not seen the ladder returned, was very anxious. He found a hammer from the toolbox, packed his things, and prepared to try again. However, just as he was about to succeed, someone suddenly threw a chicken down from above. Startled, the man fell off the cliff. After lying in bed for 3 months, he could barely stand steadily, but the wound on his leg made it very difficult for him to walk, let alone climb a 100-meter-high cliff. Just as he was falling into despair, 2 children suddenly appeared on the cliff. He felt like he had grasped a lifeline and told them that he was trapped below, begging them to call the police. However, the 2 people above said they had a rope that could pull him up, and they would go back to get the rope and return soon to rescue him. The man hid in the shade to wait, avoiding the scorching sun in the desert. Soon, the rope was thrown down from above. Seeing the rising rope, the man was overjoyed. He looked back at the house, and the woman was staring at him. However, when he climbed halfway up the cliff, the rope suddenly stopped moving and then suddenly dropped a little. The man quickly shouted up to them to continue, but after shouting for a long time, there was no response. Only then did he realize that he had been tricked, but he didn't want to give up this chance to escape so easily. He wanted to use brute force to climb up by himself. However, he quickly ran out of strength. The scorching sun caused the man to pass out. Will the man be able to escape? This thrilling movie is called The Seeding.